Up next, let's check in on weather now with Nebraska Extension Ag climatologist and Market Journal Chief Meteorologist Erich Hunt. Erich, as we join you, it is beautiful out here, and area producers, as Dusty mentioned, hopefully they might have a chance of rain toward the end of the week. As we preview, though, next week, how are things shaping up?
Well, thanks, Bryce. Suffice to say, I think Dusty's going to get his wish for more rainfall because we've got plenty of that coming here the next week to 10 days. Starting with the system and moving into the northwestern U.S. on Sunday afternoon, there's going to be a chance of severe weather across the central plains Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening, so be prepared for potentially for some larger hail and some damaging winds. That threat will be moving further east into Sunday night into Monday morning. And this is just a first in a series of a lot of systems moving into the central U.S. the next week to 10 days or possibly 2 weeks. So you got another big system on Wednesday will be bringing additional precipitation and a couple more following it through the end of this next week. The WPC is showing at least an inch of precipitation for a very good portion of the state through next Thursday morning. Some of this is probably honestly a little bit underdone, and we definitely have more coming after Thursday. So for those of you wanting the rain, you're definitely going to probably get it. The ECMWF ensemble is showing a really good probability of 2 inches of rain across pretty much all of central and eastern Nebraska through next Saturday. There are pockets in here that could pick up 3 to 4 inches of precipitation by the end of next weekend. In terms of temperatures, we are looking at things probably starting to be cool off as we head toward Monday, Tuesday, and certainly by later in the week, we're looking at cooler than average temperatures, particularly across western Nebraska. So again, if you live in parts of the northern part of the Panhandle or north central Nebraska, there's a reasonable chance your highs will only be in the 50s, say next Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, somewhere in there. It will definitely be on the cooler side. There will be even probably a little bit of frost risk in the higher elevations in the Panhandle. CPC also is showing a continued chance for cooler than average temperatures across the northern plains and northwestern U.S. as we move into the period right past Memorial Day. And they also are bullish on it being quite wet across most of this region as we move into the end of the month as well. The 8 to 14 day outlook from the European model in terms of their anomalies, they are showing wetter than average across pretty much the eastern 2/3 of the state, a little bit drier than average across the Panhandle. The GFS shows a similar signal except for a little bit wetter across the Panhandle, which is, again, we could actually use some decent precipitation out here. But again, all signs are pointing right now toward particularly central and eastern Nebraska being quite wet for the rest of the month. In terms of precipitation recently, we had decent pockets of 1.5 to 2 inch rains across portions of southeastern and east central Nebraska, and parts of Howard and Sherman counties also picked up some decent precipitation last week. But like I said, we have been pretty dry here across portions of the Panhandle, and that has led to an addition of a normal dryness across portions of the Panhandle and additional normal dryness being introduced to parts of southwestern Nebraska as well. We did see eradication of that normal dryness in Howard County and some more eradication of that normal dryness down here in the far southeastern portion of the state. Soil moisture-wise, again, we are seeing some pockets of soil moisture being a little bit deficient across portions of southwestern and the southern Panhandle. Most of the region, though, is either at average or above average for soil moisture this time of year. Streamflow values, again, still a little bit low here across parts of east central Nebraska where we've had some long-standing drought conditions, but for the most part, streamflow values are the 50th percentile or higher for most of the state, and that's the first time that's been the case for at this time of year for quite a while. In terms of North American drought monitor update, again, we still have a lot of drought up here in northern Canada, so that wildfire risk will remain until we can really start eradicating this. Also, some pretty severe drought conditions down in Mexico. In terms of rangeland conditions, very good on the eastern side of the Sandhills, getting a little poorer in some of the western Sandhills. So again, we could use some rain out there. Soil temperatures right now are generally in the 60s statewide, and these are our temperature and precipitation roundup for the week. Thanks. Back to you, Bryce.